Everyone's heard it whispered in football bars around the world. FIFA wants Argentina to win. Sounds crazy, right? But millions of fans swear it's true. Every whistle, every card, they say it's rigged. Newspapers have run with this theory for decades. Conspiracy boards, forums, group chats, it's everywhere. The referees favor them, commentators shout. Confetti falls, but doubt lingers in the air. So today, we put the theory under the microscope. Is it a myth or is it reality? This theory didn't start yesterday. It goes back decades to tournaments soaked in politics. Old headlines questioned fairness long before social media existed. Grainy broadcasts showed decisions fans still argue about today. Every trophy lift adds fuel to the fire. Fans in blue and white have always been loud and proud, but so are the accusations against the officials. One controversial goal can spark years of debate. Rival fans point fingers, demanding answers, and the story just keeps repeating itself. Tactics, drama, controversy, the perfect storm. Every contested call becomes evidence online. The trophy sits at the center of it all. Rivalries add emotional fuel to a purely statistical question. Social media turned whispers into worldwide arguments. It feels like someone, somewhere, is always watching closely. One whistle blast can trend for days. Protest signs appear in stadiums after big decisions. Doubt creeps in, even among neutral fans. Is it justice or just football drama? The crowd's energy makes everything feel bigger than it is. Old photographs get reshared as proof again and again. Some imagine shadowy figures pulling the strings. The trophy's glow makes other teams fade into the background. Amateur detectives comb through old matches for patterns. Statistics get twisted to fit the story people want to believe. Commentators argue live on air, feeding the fire. Some call it a puppet show. Others call it coincidence. FIFA itself becomes the villain in this story. And the trophy just keeps climbing higher in the myth. Let's start with the strongest argument, VAR decisions. Several controversial penalties have gone Argentina's way. Fans remember every single one in vivid detail. Red cards against opponents at crucial moments raise eyebrows. Offside calls have been debated pixel by pixel. Contact in the box, penalty or not? It's rarely clear-cut. A last-minute save denied, a controversial one given. Rival fans erupt in fury after big calls. The trophy always seems just within reach. Referees have been accused of quiet, secretive decisions. Scorelines shift dramatically after a single review. Fans rewatch replays over and over, hunting for bias. Some goals feel almost too perfectly timed. Statistically, some tournaments do show unusual patterns. Coaches have publicly complained about specific referees. Card counts get compared match after match. Fans film every controversial moment on their phones. It feels like the spotlight always finds the same team. Emotional moments make headlines louder than facts. To some, it looks like the game is being played on two boards. Tunnel walks before big matches carry heavy tension. The scale of complaints tips noticeably in some tournaments. Commentators react with visible shock in real time. Handball reviews have divided pundits for years. Massive flags and passionate crowds add to the drama. The trophy seems to glow brighter every close call. Referees' decisions sometimes come under intense scrutiny. Players and staff clash face to face after controversial calls. Some benches genuinely seem to get more favorable treatment. To believers, it's like something is quietly pulling the ball in. Newspapers spin these stories for weeks after each tournament. Protest flares and chants follow controversial results. The trophy sits comfortably, almost expected in this narrative. Rumors of phone calls and backroom deals persist online. Fans compare benches, treatment, and coverage side by side. Every goal that goes in feels like part of a bigger story. Statistics get spun like a slot machine of coincidences. Emotional celebrations only add more weight to belief. The trophy casts a long shadow over every other explanation. Final whistles bring fireworks and fresh conspiracy theories. Handshakes after matches are scrutinized frame by frame. Charts linking whistles, flags, and trophies spread online. Passionate chants make neutral fans start to wonder too. Slow motion replays are dissected endlessly by fans. The trophy feels locked away, untouchable, protected. Wild celebrations get replayed as if they prove something. To believers, the scales just don't look even. Human waves of celebration reinforce the feeling of destiny. Even simple gestures get read as suspicious. A single spotlight beam seems to follow the same shape. Crowd chants form the same story again and again. Tense handshakes before kickoff only only add to the drama. Golden confetti feels, to some, like it was always planned. Every decision gets a magnifying glass treatment online, and so the trophy's glow just keeps getting brighter in the myth. Now let's look at what the evidence actually says. VAR technology reviews every major decision regardless of team. Statistically, refereeing errors are spread across almost every nation. Different countries have lifted the trophy across different decades. Every big decision goes through multiple review angles. Modern football has more scrutiny and transparency than ever before. Referees are trained and assessed by independent panels. Trophy cabinets around the world tell a much more balanced story. Multiple camera systems track the ball from every possible angle. History shows success shared widely across many nations. Fans from rival countries have celebrated plenty of their own wins. Some contested calls are simply the coin flip of split-second decisions. Wider data shows no consistent pattern favoring one team. The World Cup map lights up differently every single tournament. Both teams train with the same intensity and dedication. Referee rulebooks apply identically to every match, every team. Pitches, timing, and rules are standardized across all games. Winning a trophy takes surviving weeks of brutal competition. Tactical preparation plays a massive role in these results. Hard training and sacrifice are the real story behind most wins. Balanced statistics rarely make headlines the way controversy does. Penalty call data, studied closely, shows no significant bias. Referees shake hands fairly with captains from every team. Strict rule books leave little room for personal favoritism. Some victories are simply the result of an incredible run of form. Fair play awards recognize many different nations over the years. Committees review contested decisions together, not one person alone. Different champions have emerged across decades of history. Rival fans have plenty of their own celebrated victories to point to. Independent researchers have studied referee bias extensively. Structural checks exist specifically to prevent unfair outcomes. Transparency initiatives were introduced after past controversies. Grit, training, and sacrifice explain far more than conspiracy. Diverse panels of officials review the toughest calls together. Football's global popularity makes neutral scrutiny nearly constant. Referees are human, and mistakes happen in every direction. Fair procedures are documented and reviewed after every tournament. Data-driven coaching now plays a bigger role than ever. Great goalkeeping happens on both sides of every big match. Trophy history actually shows a fairly wide spread of winners. Random variation explains a lot of what looks like a pattern. Officials are trained to remain calm and neutral under pressure. Fans from every background often unite over a great match. Justice, statistically speaking, tends to even out over time. Many players' success starts with years of solitary hard work. Global fans genuinely just love a great football story. Coin tosses and procedures are identical for every single match. Many nations' names are engraved on football's biggest trophies. Bias studies generally find the numbers closer to balance than people think. Different champions are celebrated on the same stage tournament after tournament. Multiple angles are reviewed carefully before big decisions are made. Years of training often explain what looks like luck. Fair play is something football genuinely tries to protect. The sport is global, and scrutiny falls on everyone equally. In the end, the scales tend to settle closer to fair than fans admit. So, what's the real answer here? Do we follow the trophy or follow the facts? Let's weigh everything we've uncovered. The scale finally starts to settle. The truth seems to be a mix of both sides. Most of the proof turns out to be selective memory. There's truth and myth tangled together here, but something becomes clear the more you look. Officials make mistakes, but mistakes aren't the same as conspiracy. Controversy and coincidence often get confused for corruption. When you zoom out, the pattern mostly disappears. It's less a grand plot, more human error under pressure. Our verdict? Mostly myth, with real controversies fueling it. Some fans will still believe it no matter what the data says. And that's exactly why the myth refuses to die. Officially, there's no solid evidence of a rigged system, but real mistakes did happen, and that's undeniable. The full picture is far blurrier than any headline suggests. It's easy to see why people believe it, even if it's not proven. The whistle falls silent, and the debate settles for now. Fans slowly calm down, at least until the next big match. The trophy goes back to being just a trophy. A new day, a new tournament, a new set of arguments. The scale holds steady, closer to fair than fans expect. Final verdict? Mostly myth, mixed with a few real mistakes. But here's something most fans don't know. Buried in football history is a detail that changes the conversation. You will not believe what actually happened here. Old records reveal a surprising twist to this story. There's a hidden layer to this myth most people miss. Archival footage tells a very different side of the story. One name on this list might genuinely surprise you. This next fact rarely gets mentioned in the debate. Old photographs photographs reveal details no one talks about anymore. And here's where the story takes a real turn. Historians point to a detail almost everyone forgets. This one fact alone shifts the entire conversation. There's a hidden record almost nobody brings up. This detail was buried for decades in old archives. One old headline flips the whole theory on its head. Time and perspective change how this story gets told. A forgotten record reshapes the whole debate. What looked black and white turns out far more colorful. This forgotten fact deserves way more attention than it gets, and suddenly the whole myth looks a little different. So, myth or reality? You decide in the comments. If this blew your mind, hit subscribe for more. Football's full of these million-dollar mysteries. Tell us which theory we should bust next. Until next time, keep questioning everything.